this. Here we go. Here we go. Hey guys, welcome to the show. We got a special edition for Out of the Box. We got Rod Miller here today. We're talking about the speed limit, the move it or lose it, and we got some gripes about the actual speed limit. And I say that the speed limit is posted 15 miles an hour slower than what it should be. And Rod's here. He disagreed with me last night, but you know, I got to thinking about the 15 minutes. I actually went and got some dinner last night. Went and took the dogs for a truck ride. We went down to Panda Express, and on the way home, believe it or not, I noticed that I was going 35 miles an hour in a 30. So it would have been 5 miles an hour slower. So I'm thinking maybe I could change it from between 5 and 15 miles an hour slower than what it should be posted. And we got some stats. We got some stats here to show you guys. Hang on, let me get the stats up for everybody. Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about? Not these. Hang tight, guys, with us. Check out these stats. So I pulled this up. I pulled this up a couple nights ago, and I thought you guys would like this. In 1901, Connecticut became the first state to pass a law regarding motor vehicles, limiting their speed limit to 12 miles an hour in the city and 15 miles an hour on country roads. And then ever since 1995, there was only 35 states that had ever raised their speed limits to 70 miles an hour or higher on some portion of their highways. So my whole take on the speed limit is the move it or lose it. So, and I know Rod is frustrated with the speed limit because, you know, he's out there driving. Of course, you know, everybody should at least drive the speed limit, you know, and not if it's 65 on the freeways. For me, I don't understand why you're driving 55, and people are doing 55 in the fast lane, and it just kills me. And I know Rod has had some problems. Do you have anything recent that happened to you, Rod?
You just driving on the road where it says 45 and people are starting to go 55. I'm going to go. There are people walking around going across the street that are going to be hurting pretty bad once you hit them at 50 or 60, 55 miles an hour. Let's go the speed limit of 50 or 45 if you want. Push it 50. But leave the slow lane to the people that want to go slow, if not 45. You people that want to go 10 miles over the speed limit, get out of the slow lane.
Yeah, I think the slow lane has been I just think they should raise the speed limit. I mean, you know, it's sometimes I got to thinking, well, maybe part of the problem is that, you know, back in the 1900s when the speed limit was so slow, well, they had cars that wouldn't even go that fast anyway. So, you know, 12 miles an hour and 15 miles an hour, is it realistic? And you know, apparently, you know, it probably was. I mean, I don't know how fast the first car ever made by Ford was. I don't know how fast the thing ever topped out at. But you could look at the older generation from the 1900s, in the 1920s, and maybe even the 1930s. And we have I have another graphic to show everybody out there, the stats as far as the population goes from the 1900s up until basically up until now, as far as the speed limit goes, is they should change. I think they should change it. Now, whether they should up it to whatever they should up it to, but I think they should just change it, period. You know, and I know there's the older folks out there that are driving slow, and those I think that's just a generation of people that's, you know, been driving on the road for many, many years, and they're not used to driving in a fast-paced society as we have today. Because I know from 1900 to 2018 that we're in now, the society is the pace of society has changed, and you can see here, like in 1901, there was only, the population was about 77.5 million people, and the registered motor vehicles. Now I know you probably didn't register a vehicle back then, but the known vehicles, when I was looking up the stats, there was only 14,800 cars on the road, and it's no wonder you were going so slow. You know, the cars, there's not enough cars on the road to be zooming around at, 80 miles an hour. Plus, they probably didn't go that fast anyway. But if you look at this throughout the years between 1901 and 2011, as you can see, the increase in motor vehicles is enormous, and it goes in conjunction with in correlation with the population. And the only thing that has never changed was the speed limit. The speed limit has always been the same, and they never change it. And that's you would think they would change the speed limit in accordance to the population increase over the years, and actually they haven't. And I think one of the biggest frustrations out there that I see when I'm driving back and forth to the airport is there's you look at Saturday and Sunday drivers, and you don't have a lot of people on the road during the your 8-hour rush hour traffic and your 5-hour rush traffic coming home, 5 p.m. rush traffic coming home. On the weekends and on the weekdays, there's an abundance of traffic, and it bogs down to the point where you get this accordion effect, and I just don't get the accordion effect, as far as the traffic will move at a pace that moves the traffic, and then somebody in the front slows down, and then it kind of triggers that domino effect to where everybody up there a couple miles ahead, maybe 5-6 miles ahead, slow down to the point where it causes that accordion effect where all the traffic starts jamming. And of course, then what I find frustrating is when you get to a moderate speed, from going slow to a moderate speed, and you pick it up going, oh, okay, great, I'm going to get home in time for dinner. Get home in time to feed the cats and feed the dogs and all that stuff, and take out do your thing, do what you got to do. But that's not the case, because when you get miles ahead, you slow down again. And what I've noticed, and I don't know if Rod's noticed this, but what I've noticed is people are slowing down for no reason. Go figure. No one's you have your people that are getting off, they have multiple exits around 215, so you'll have people getting off, but there's not enough traffic. There's no like accidents on the side of the road. If cops pulling people over, people slow down and they start rubbernecking and what have you. And it causes them to slow down. But I don't see that being the case. I see everybody slowing down for whatever reason they're slowing down for. I have no clue. And I can't attribute it to the amount of cars on the road. I can only attribute that to the decisions that people make. And I found out, and that's why I came up with a Tony's Tidbits section of the show, and I'm going to run that Tony's Tidbits on for the audience. It's going to be up above the cam there, and then just turn on that tidbit. No. Go topic 2, and then turn tidbit on. Turn it on here. Turn this tidbit on here. Here's what I wanted to show you guys. This is the Tony's Tidbit section. Humans are incapable of making the right decision in a wide set of circumstances. Now, if that ain't the truth, I don't know what is. I just think people are humans are just incapable of making decisions in certain circumstances. Not necessarily the correct decision or a right decision. They just can't make the decision. Period. And I think what happens is you get you'll get one person who makes that decision. That's the wrong decision. The person in the next lane, or maybe up in front of him, makes that wrong decision. The person behind him makes that same decision because of they call it the domino effect, and it causes that traffic to jam. Because I think you could have there's 253 million cars on the road today, and even in 5 o'clock traffic, if I can even talk, 5 o'clock traffic, we can alleviate that, I think, if people just made the right decision. Now, I know Rod and I went through this whole thing. I was actually going to record the show yesterday, but we ran out of time doing some graphics and fixing the intro and doing the outros and stuff like that. If you look at your freeways anywhere you go, they are built based on how the freeways were built 50, 60 years ago. So you'll see your 3-lane highways, right? And you'll see new construction, especially here on 215, when 215 never existed. It was only a 2-lane road that went from, where'd it go from? Probably Decatur and Jones, and then it moved all the way around to, probably went all the way around to where? Probably where you live.
Henderson. Well, they're doing construction now out there to finish the highway.
Right. But it was a 2-lane highway, so they decided to make that the freeway. Okay. So my question to the builders is, why in the hell did you make it 3 lanes when you should have made it 5 or 6 each way? Yeah. Each way to alleviate that traffic.
I think they're worried about money, how much money it's going to cost them. Forget about common sense.
Yeah, what did you say last night? That is like for every mile it's like $1 million.
It used to be every mile was $1 million. Now it's every mile is $1.3 million.
Oh wow!
So they're dictated by the money. You want to put 5 lanes in, it might be $2 million for a mile then.
That's interesting.
But that's common sense. I mean, Las Vegas is growing like big time. There are people, they're making houses left and right out here now. It's still a 3-lane.
Yeah, it's 3 lanes, and it should be 5 lane. I mean, 4 lanes. You know, I went through something with Rod last night, and then actually another gentleman, a friend of mine that I had told this to, is if you look at your freeways, and what is in the middle of the freeway one of my friends call it the safety lane. Whether it's a safety lane or not, I don't know. You could just pull over if you're having car troubles. You could pull over to the left, and obviously you can pull over to the right. But there is enough room if you were to actually take out all the lights that are in the center of the freeway, pull them off and put them on the side of the freeway, and then you could add more lanes in the middle. But then I got to thinking, you know, a friend of mine said, well, you couldn't do that. What if you get you have car troubles, you got to pull over somewhere. You're not going to be able to pull over to the right if you're in the far left-hand lane. You could just pull over into the middle of the north and southbound or whatever, what have you, lanes. And I got to thinking about that, and then I said, well, you know, you got a point. You do have a point. You may not be able to do that. But if you look at it, it's too bad that Rod and I didn't get out there on the freeway and then take a video of this. Of the eastbound and southbound, east and westbound drives on 215. But if you look at the freeway here, especially here in Vegas on 215, between looking at Decatur and say Sunset, that long 6-mile stretch of road, if you look on the right-hand side, and I don't know if it's this way where you guys live, let us know in the comments what it looks like. Snap a picture of it, send us a picture of it. But you'll see, you know, you'll have the left lane, the middle lane, the right lane, a median to the right-hand side, and then a boatload of rocks and nothing. It's just empty. It's empty where you could put 2 or 3 more lanes. So then for me, it's if you look at it, if you're going to build a freeway, build it the right way, period. You know, and like Rod said, it's $1.3 million a mile. Well, build 5 lanes, and for if you got the budget for a mile, and you should have the budget. Number one is, I think, and I don't know about Rod, but I think that all your construction throughout your states, whether it be the money should come from the government anyway, because if you look at black budget projects, those are projects. There's trillions of dollars that go into these projects that the government has. They don't have to keep account for the money. So my thing is well, either you're going to have to expose what you're doing with this money and why you're taking so much money, because it's actually the taxpayers' money. Why you're taking that money, and what are you doing with it? What are you building? Obviously, you're not building anything, because the black budget projects has existed for many years, and we don't know what you're doing with it. So either tell the American public what you're doing with their money, or stop those projects altogether. Give the money, divide that money to the states. It's where it should be going, and then you can actually build your freeways correctly. That's my take. I mean, I don't know about I don't know about Rod, but what you think about. But should the speed limit be changed?
Well, in certain parts it should be. I mean, 65, go 70, but yet give me a freaking lane that I can go 65 away from all these other people who are trying to think it's an Indy 500 race out there. And some of the limits need to be, instead of 35, 45. And road, perfect, needs to be 45 instead of 35. But guess what speed they're doing? 45.
45. Now, grant you, on some of your country roads, if you had no, let's say we can all those speed limits, because I think in the near future you're going to see all those speed limit signs. They're going to go bye-bye, and we're going to revert to something different other than speed limits. Probably speed regulated cars, where you're not going to be able to go faster than whatever they deem the car necessary, the speed limit necessary. And I just hope that if it moves to that realm, that they don't tie the car into the speed limit that used to be posted. But on your country roads, you'll see 30, 35 on country roads. And grant you, if you take it down, I don't think everybody's going to be doing 100 miles an hour like the German Autobahn on a country road that's winding through the mountains, and you just can't get a good view of the mountains because you can't see them because you're going too damn fast, and then you can't round the corner because you just shot off the mountain because you're going too fast. So I'm just thinking, if you wipe the speed limit signs out, it's not going to give anybody any justification to do any faster than what? If the speed limit was 30, so my take is it's 15 miles an hour posted slower, so 30. So for everywhere that the speed limit is 30 miles an hour, it should be 45. If the speed limit was 65 on the freeways, should be 80. And one of the reasons that I say that is half the people are jetting through the freeways, jetting, north and southbound, east and westbound on these freeways, 75 plus miles an hour. And grant you, the speed limit is 65, and you'll get those people, like Rod said, that are going to be in the far left-hand lane, and they're going to be doing 65 because that's what the speed limit says.
It's not the common sense, though, when people are doing 75, if not 80 on those roads, in that lane.
Right. But don't you think that the people should drive with the flow of traffic?
Well, don't force me to go 75 when I don't want to go to 75. I just cruising down the road. I got nothing else to do. I got to be no place that fast. Get me in the slow lane. I go 65. Unfortunately, I'll get an idiot that's going 75 in a slow lane. And I'll start tapping my brakes. I go, listen, there are 2 other lanes next to me. You go around. You need to go 75. You get out of my fucking lane when I'm going 65 and go around me. Yeah,
because they can just go around it because there's available lanes to go around, but they don't go around you.
There are people, when they're doing construction the first construction on 15 on Spitty Bowl. 2 lanes. I got a guy who's going behind me. I barely see his lights behind me. This is at night. So I go, okay, 65, I'll go 60. He goes 60. He doesn't go around me because there are cars flying around me on the other side. So then I go, what's it, 60? 55. He's still behind me. And there are cars flying by me again. He will not go around me. I'm going 50. He's still behind me. He still hasn't caught on. There are people flying by me, going the speed limit, if not faster. And this idiot's still behind me. I go 45. I've never gone 45 on the freeway unless accidents or cops there. He's still going around me. Now, I get out of his way, and guess what he's doing? The bullet train.
Wow.
Right by me. I figured that one out. You don't have the common sense to go around me, even when I'm going 65.
I think, yeah, no, that's a big problem. That's a big problem. You should never be going 45 on a freeway.
I just did that to see if this idiot would go around me, and he didn't.
I mean, here's another thing that I think, and I told Rod and I were in a discussion last night about the speed limit, is you're going to see not so much not too far in the near future, where those speed limit signs now are going to be attached to the surface of the road. That's what I think. So each lane is going to have its individual speed. So I think the far right-hand lane is going to be it's probably going to be docked down at 75. You'll see the middle lane at 65. You'll see the far right-hand lane at 60, but maybe 60. I can't see you going 55, because if you get out there on the freeway, and I'm pretty sure everybody's done this. If you get out on the freeway, say in the middle of the night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody on the road, go 55 miles an hour, and you're going to think you're standing still. I need to get out and push my car here, but you're going 55. The speed limit that used to be on the freeways back in the 80s, that same speed limit, and then they upped that speed limit to 65 in most of your cities, but everything in rural areas has remained the same, with an abundant increase in population. And that's one thing that needs to be changed. You need to change that speed limit in accordance with the population growth of the United States and your cities. And look for this in the future, everybody is going to be driving the same type of car, which now is going to be limited to 1 or 2, no more than 2 per working household. Now you're going to go from 253 million cars that used to be on the freeway to less than half of that. And then you're going to see a mass transit system, futurized transit system for the interstate in rural area travel. You like the cab drivers are going to go away. You're going to see drones, more taxi drones. You'll see them. They're going to be the first to take off on the market, because they're going to do a test run for those, I do believe. There's a big conference, not necessarily a conference, but there's a huge expo in Dubai in 2020 on the taxi drones, and we're going to see if that lifts off and takes off. I can't see everybody taking off to the skies, because now you're going to flood the skies. I mean, everybody, what are you going to do? Get an accident? And couldn't you just see that? Millions and thousands of people driving in the air. You guys can't. Some of you people, I don't mean to knock people, but some of you people can't even drive, period, anyway, and you need to be removed from the road. I mean, that's just my rendition. I think you got to get off the road. And, I hate to drive grandma and grandpa off the road, but for driving so dang slow. But you're going to need to be retaught You know, if you're going to get it to you're at the elderly age, and mind you, the United States is we're a free country. You know, you're free to do what you want to do within the limits of the law. But my God, do the speed limit, or get out of the car. I mean, take the bus.
People love their car. They love their souped-up Mustangs and everything like that. You can't pry them from their.
You almost can't pry it.
hands.
Right, you almost can't pry it from their hands. That's
The freedom. The car gives them freedom to get out and do something.
that's a sad thing, because you know, you go buy a decent car, or you have a decent car from say your teenage years, right? And it's been garage kept for all these years, and then next thing you know, you can't get out and drive it because they just removed them all from the road.
Ouch. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to take. It's tough to swallow that, but I think ultimately, when these cars are produced, when you're going to see, this is another prediction I have, and these are predictions, guys, that I'm thinking of. I'm not psychic or anything. It's just something that I think, and I just say, hey, this is what's going to happen. I think this is what's going to would make everybody's lives better. You'll see all the major car companies. And they don't necessarily go out of business, but they're all going to join together and make one car. And to make it feasible for everybody to stop driving their old 1910 Ford, you see car shows and everybody's driving to the car show. You'll see Hot August Nights up in Reno. They hold that every year. You know, they close the strip off and everybody's driving their hot rods. It's cool. It's cool. You know, they got bands playing, you know, and they got parties going on every corner, and you know, everybody's checking out the cars, the hood's up. I mean, we used to take our car down on Madison Avenue in Indianapolis, and when I was a teenager, and park at the old Steak and Shake, and we raised the hood up because it's all chromed out, you know. But to make it feasible to remove these cars from the road, is I think that these cars are going to be given out. Maybe not necessarily to the point where the company is going to give you a free car. Mind you, they might. You might see the free car, or it's going to be so cheap that you're just going to go down. So cheap that, you know, you go down. Hey, I need some bread and milk. You know, it's like going down to the the 7-Eleven or the Mini Mart and grabbing some bread and milk and a couple Tootsie Rolls for the kids, and just going to be like that. You're just going to go to the car company. Boom, boom, boom. Here it is, done. Or they're going to have the system to where the banking system is going to be the one ultimate bank. And I don't mean to say the one world government, because I see the one world government, that's nothing but a crash right there. But you'll see you'll see banks tied in, and your account numbers are all tied in. You'll see money go away. Money's going to be going away in the future. You're never going to see money anymore. You'll see your bank card. You'll have bank cards. You do the bank cards. And I know when you look at the Bible, and it says, you know, that it does say you're not going to be able to buy, sell, or trade any goods unless you have this mark. So, but you guys, for you Bible believers out there that want to bring that up, just make sure you render that passage right, because just because you have something like a retina scan at the grocery store, your retina scan goes through. Everything's tied into your account and it's debited out of your account, or it just says unable to complete transaction. You know, there is no cash anymore. You're going to have the money to purchase these goods, and the money is in a digital format. It's not in a paper format. It's all in digital, and that's a big safeguard for all you people out there that just like to write checks, like you're writing letters to your girlfriend. It's gonna get rid of all that fraud, all of that fraud, if you want to call it fraud, but it's gonna get rid of all that. You won't be able to write checks anymore. You're gonna have that money in the account, which I can see that coming.
Cut down on counterfeiting too.
No more counterfeiting. Yeah, I think one thing that you told me we talked about last night is if you get into a system like that, who's going to stop hackers? I don't know. Maybe we need to strengthen for you programmers out there, we need a good language. You know, incorporate all these languages into one, and then build a big safeguard against anybody being able to go to a keyboard and hitting Control Plus or you know, Alt Shift W or Alt Shift H, you know, whatever the case may be that you got to do to start writing, you know, this writing code, or you're writing code to virus codes. I mean, the viruses are going to be a thing of the past in the near future that I see. You're not going to be able to viruses. There's going to be a system out there, not necessarily. It'd be like Norton's antivirus, Casper. They call it, what do they call it? Kaspersky. I call it Kaspersky. Norton's antivirus. There's Panda antivirus. The Panda Titanium. There's a Windows Defender out there. But you're going to have such a strong defense. There's a company that's going to come forth that's going to make this. That's going to make all your software programs and all your databases and all that is going to be impenetrable. You're not going to be able to penetrate it. So, for anybody out there that's from Russia, sorry, you ain't hacking here. Those hacking days are over. So, go find something else to do. Like maybe I don't know. Go get a job at the hamburger store and flip burgers or something like that. But the hacking days, you're going to see the hacking days come to a stop. Of course, you know, Black Hat is here in Vegas every, when's Black Hat? Yeah, it's every, I forgot what month it is. Big hacking convention for hackers. So I think that's going to fall by the wayside. It's going bye-bye.
The military's looking at that one too.
Oh, the military, yeah.
Artificial intelligence, that might be.
That's another thing. That's another thing. Oh, and by the way, on these cars that I was talking about, I was talking with Rod last night too, is you don't have to drive them. You're just gonna program them in. They're all GPS programmable via GPS, and it's just gonna take you to whatever you just plugged in. Go figure. You don't have to do anything. Rod says it makes the human lazy. Well, it does, but it's
the stuff they're coming out now is making them lazy. I don't know. I'd rather have a car where I can program it. Takes me where I want to go. But for right now, they're making it lazy. Why would I have to? I'm driving. Why would I pay attention to the road when it's going to stop for me anyway? Why would I look over my shoulder to say there's nobody in my blind spot when you got that little thing that'll pick up, a sonic thing will pick somebody up next to you? You know, it's making you lazy.
I think it's better than saying, okay, well, this autonomous car or this car that's programmed to take you anywhere you want to go, and it's 100% safe. It's a lot better to have that than it is for someone to look over the shoulder or look in the rearview mirror and slam into somebody when the car that's all programmable wouldn't do that. I mean, grant you, like I said, it comes with the decision that someone's got to make. I got to look in behind me to see if it's okay to switch lanes, and lo and behold, the guy in front of you stopped, and you didn't see him because you're looking out, and you're driving the car, and you just rear ended him. But the car that's programmable wouldn't do that. It would see the whole thing. It would see. There would be so many sensors, and I think Mercedes has this, and I think there's a couple other cars that have, 200-300. I don't. It could be 100 sensors on the car, all the way around the car that sense everything. Oh, and by the way, years ago, the GPS satellite would get you plus or minus 30 feet. Well, guess what, folks? GPS satellite, since it came out many, many moons ago or many, many years ago, could get you to the T. They just offset the program. They offset the satellites because they didn't want anybody to get a correct data because if you program your car to go to the garage, well, it's going to go to the garage door, right? To the garage door. Back then, they would only get you within, 30, 40 feet. Well, BS. Back then, it could have got you plain. They just didn't want, they offset I think they offset the satellites for unknown reasons. We don't need to get into that, but the GPS on these cars are going to be so correct. It's to the T. It's right to the foot. I'm almost inclined to say it could be to the inch. But I don't know how close you can get, because that just depends on how big the car is. To the inch of what? To the inch of the bumper? To the inch of the middle of the car?
It seems like a military GPS.
It's got to take place somewhere. I mean, somehow it's going to get you there correctly there. Now, grant you, these cars, as far as the drones, we look at the speed limit in the air. There is actually a speed limit in the air. Commercial airlines go through. They have airspeed indicators in the cockpit, and there's a set speed that they can go. It's probably 350 knots. I'm not sure, somewhere around there. So how fast are these drones going to be flying? They can be whizzing around, or what's the speed going to be? How can you control the speed in the air?
Well, what's the height going to be too? 1,000 feet over the where are you going to land?
That's another thing that's got to be worked out. Definitely should be worked out. But I think the drone thing is going to be real big. I think it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I mean, you got your J routes up. You got your high altitude en route charts. You got your low altitude. You got your airways. They're just like the freeways in the sky, right? Yeah. So you're going to have something lower, because you don't want to make it. You could make it VFR and fly VFR, I suppose. I mean, I don't know. You're not going to see very many drones in the air at one time, anytime soon. There's not going to be abundance of them, but you're going to see people that have them. You're going to see cars, be driving down the road, and they say, it's going to lift up off the ground. That's kind of cool. I like to do that. Cop turns his lights on, just fly away from the police. Oh, that's too fun. That's another thing. On the speed limit. I think in the near future, you're going to see, when these accounts you're going to see multiple. You're going to see all these large accounts getting set up and electronically, and there's going to be like Big Brother. I'll go off topic just real quick. Good. Everybody's out there saying, I don't like Big Brother. Big Brother's all the cameras on the street corners, right? They're watching everybody, just like persons of interest. You got all these cameras everywhere. But you guys fret about that, but you carry a cell phone. Just go figure. But when you speed, you don't have to worry about being pulled over by a cop. It's all going to be computer monitored. It's monitored. They're going to monitor you. And then if you're over the speed limit, give or take, whatever, there's got to be some kind of leeway or some kind of threshold within the computer programmer. You'll be given a ticket. You won't you'll know it when you go look at your bank statement, because the money's been duped out of your account and labeled speeding. You'll get a notification in the summary, in the summary part of the transaction, and that's pretty much going to limit everybody from speeding, I think. Now, that if that's taking away some of your rights, I don't know. I don't know necessarily if it's really taking away your rights, but it's certainly gonna wrap up. It's gonna start the process to move forward into the future. That's why I'm saying this. You're going to see a lot of stuff start changing in the next 20 years, you're going to start seeing it change. And it's a good thing that I'm getting this out on the social media, because I'm going to save it. Not only am I going to save it on my hard drive and a USB drive, and to save it up on YouTube, is that when those changes start coming, you guys can go back and go, oh yeah, Tony Scott was right. I wonder what else he knows. Well, there's going to be upcoming shows where I'm going to let go of some more of my my prophecies of what's going to happen in the world. So, this is not got nothing to do with the speed limit, but we're going to end up doing a show. Rod and I might do it. We're going to start talking about the UFO stuff, and I was talking about all these aliens and stuff. I really don't need that. It's kind of really off topic now about the speed limit, but that's that's not true. You see a lot of stuff in social media now about because the UFOs is hitting the hot spot now, and it's not what you guys think it is. And I think in an upcoming episode, I'm going to tell you what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it is. So other than that, I think we did a decent.
The cops need to get these guys going through red lights.
Oh, the red light runners. I think this is the Rod's Rant and Rave section.
I've seen them, and I've seen crashes where it looks like they cut. I don't know who did it, but they cut the car right in half because he's going through a red light.
Red light runners.
Yeah, total disregard. They're in a hurry to get nowhere real quick.
That is true, and like I said, when you see this change start to take place, you're going to see a lot less people running on a lot less red lights. You know, when they're out there doing their budget or whatever, they're checking their finances, going, "Oh man, I just got 2 tickets for. Oh yeah, I ran those red lights. Dang, I didn't get stopped by the cops, and I forgot to go to court." Well, you don't have to worry about going to court. Court's going to be a thing of the past too. You're going to see all that the court drama. That's going away. That's going to go bye-bye. Or at least the traffic court is. You don't have to worry about that. But you're going to see a lot of people. That's going to make a lot of people stop running red lights. Now, grant you, a yellow, there's got to, like I said, there has to be a threshold. And I'm sure that when this all, before this starts to come about, they're going to be doing a lot of testing with it. So, and I'm sure they still have, I'm sure the technology, folks, is there, and it's been there for a long time. I would say millions of years, but there's no such thing as millions of years, and that's another program. That's for another program on the creation evolution. We did creation evolution a while back ago, and I might do another one, just because I've been seeing a lot of creation evolution on Ken Hovland's website. Not only his website, but Kent's his YouTube channel. There's a channel on creation versus evolution. So, but there is no such thing as millions of years. So you guys quit. You quit any time, but I don't believe you. So what else we got? That's kind of it on that speed limit. Oh, let's show the audience that graphic on the cars and the years and stuff, and I'll just do a small tidbit, small rollover on go topic 2. That's the wrong topic. Yeah, throw them stats up there. So just one more thing here. Oops, a tidbits. That's the wrong one. That's another one. You guys there are people out there that can't make that decision. That's for sure. There you go. You got it. Stop right there. Yeah, this is guys. Take a good look at it, because it's true. You got 14,800 cars in 1901, and now you got, well, there's over 253 million cars in the world today. That 2011, I think there's probably a lot more than that. That's a good average. That's a good average. So, but we'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank Rod for being here. I'd like to thank the audience for, taking the time out to listen to Rod and I talk. Especially me. I'm one to look at something and say, you need to do this in order for it to be better. And it may be crash and burn for some people, but I'm only speaking the truth. Now, grant you, this is an opinionated society, and I've got one, so I'm giving you that's my opinion, and it's a strong one, and I think it will change. What I've said will change society for the better. So, like I said, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Not sure what we're going to do. I'll probably do something on UFOs. I know, guys, I told you last week, a couple of weeks ago, we were going to do something on the Bible. The Bible's still on there. I gotta get all my, you got to dot your I's and cross your T's and stuff like that. So I got to get that ironed out. But I'm going to go through maybe a short mini series on understanding the Bible and what you need to get. the tools of the trade, you know, your arsenal, and the language. We'll go through some Hebrew language. We'll go through some Greek language, and find out how they rendered the Hebrew to English and the Greek to English, and of course the upteen thousands of different versions of the Bible and all these words that had been taken out and why they were taken out, and then you know, it's just it's a big wreck. The King James version is the Bible. You guys need to get that and read that. But join us next week, next Thursday. I'm gonna do something on the aliens and the UFOs, because I keep seeing Linda Moulton Howe do stuff, and she's calling these ebens. I don't even know what an eben is. Extraterrestrial biological entity or some kind of entity, and she's saying the lizard people and they transform from human to lizard. I'm thinking, man, this is out of this world. You guys, I don't know what you guys are, where you came up for this information, but it is definitely funny. She's interesting to watch. You guys get on YouTube, search out Linda Moulton Howe. She's definitely funny. I don't know where she's getting this information from, and she says she's talking to she's got sources, but I've never seen anybody like a chameleon type person. I've never seen an alien either. I just don't. They're probably there, but they may not be who you think they are. We're gonna try. We're gonna do a segment on that. Yeah, so you guys join us. You join me next Thursday, and we'll go over the UFO phenomenon. We'll go over some things that Linda Moulton Howe said, and a couple other people, and we're going to look at take another hard look at Travis Walton's abduction story. So you be there, and we'll just you guys have a great week. Have a great rest of the week, and then we'll see you next episode.
I think this camera added 20 pounds onto me.
Rewind it. Just need to get it up here. Not blip. No.